Hello guys and welcome to this Path to Nowhere video. Today I am gonna talk about the Fury champions in this game. There are one Fury champion that I do not have, and that is Sonya. But eventually everyone can get a Sonya from the supply office.
Oh.
1 second here.
Are you here to see me, Chief?
Free, nice.
Feel free to take the time
Alright,
to look
so
at the new
everyone can
supplies.
eventually get a free Sonya when you get enough arrest. You will get these things here, and for 250 you can get a Sonya. So I am waiting to do this instead of getting her guaranteed from a warrant, kind of. So that is what I'm waiting for. So eventually everyone will get her. And Fury champions, they have all of them have the same A1 attack pattern in a cross like this. And also everyone, I believe, will get a Nox. She is considered one of the best S-rank sinners, or the best sinner in this entire game, because she is, does some decent damage with A1, nothing special, but her ultimate ability, when this is turned on for 20 seconds, she will hit everyone in a 3x3 square, dealing 200% attack damage as physical. This can scale up even more with some levels. That is massive. So when she has this active, she does massive damage, out damages basically everyone. Great AoE damage ability. It does cost 45, so you will not have this up very often, but it lasts for 20 seconds. That is a long time. Alright. For every enemy on the battle, she gains a little attack bonus. Sure, why not? And she also, this is actually very good. This reduces, when she's on the battlefield, she reduces the enemy's defense by 22%. That is a global damage increase to all your damage dealers, basically. That deals physical damage because then you reduce the defense. So insane. So her damage numbers is kind of boosting everyone's damage. So yeah, even if she's not the highest damage dealer, she might be the reason why you do that much damage. Physical penetration is increased by 15%. This is only for herself, I believe. So she also will reduce, well, ignore even more defense. That is very massive. Now, when you upgrade her enough, you will get this. And this, when you have this unlocked, when she uses her ultimate ability, she deals instantly 600% attack damage and 1 core damage to all enemies in a 3x3 square. That is like the initial hit when you do the ultimate ability, I think it is. And for each enemy hit by this, she takes 10% less damage, reducing her ultimate. During her ultimate, for 20 seconds, she can take up to 50% less damage. That is just ridiculous. And yeah, she becomes a tank at that point. And this core damage, massive damage, and yeah. She's a really insane unit. Yeah. Alright. Also Sonya, I can talk about Sonya also because I know a little bit about her. She can do some core damage, and I've heard that her single target damage is really insane as well. So yeah, Sonya is also good, but Nox is just insane. Alright, let's talk about the epic, well, the next ones that I have on my list. I actually leveled Bakassi to level 40 because she's pretty unique. She has the same attack pattern, dealing magic damage, but her ultimate, when she does this ultimate, she instantly deals damage, 1 core damage to all enemies within this range, and places a radiation field. And that radiation field does 74% of her attack damage as magic for 10 seconds every second. So yeah. So every second she deals a lot of damage in this area. So great area damage over time. So against bosses and whatever, and a lot of enemies, she does pretty decent area damage. And with this, she will have a radiation field on her own square. So enemies on her own square will take some additional magic damage. And if they stay in a radiation field over time, the bonus damage will stack. So like if there's a stationary enemy, they will take a lot more damage over time. So she does a lot of area damage. And if you have her upgraded, enemies within the radiation field move slower. That I didn't know. That is really nice utility. So they will stay in the area, the damage over time, for a longer time. With this thing here, enemies that die in the radiation field will proc a secondary radiation field that deals 30% of her attack damage to all enemies on that grid for 10 seconds. So that is pretty insane because not only does she have the other targets, so there will be multiple damage over time effects if she gets a kill. Pretty cool. So she has a really good damage over time AoE damage dealer. Hela, everyone has Hela. This is the skin that I got for free during this current event. She does pretty decent damage, and with her ultimate, she gains some attack bonus and hits twice ever. So basically over doubling her damage for 10 seconds. Pretty decent damage. She also is a pretty decent kind of tank. She can only block one target though by base, but if she hasn't been hit for 4 seconds, she will quite quickly restore health to full. So she can be tanking an enemy for a bit until she's very low, put her out of the combat, she'll heal to full health and put her back in. It's really good as a tank if you don't have a good tank or a healer, something like that. And when she drops below 20% health, she heals a lot, and only triggered once per battle. And how about this one? I forget. Yeah, this basically increases her self-healing. Nothing special, I believe. Well, Hela, really good early, but when you get a proper tank and a healer, she's getting out valued. Her damage is pretty decent early on. Dolly is actually a pretty interesting champion. Because with this ability here, she gains double attack speed. And the normal attack damage increases by 20%. And this will increase by 6 attacks. And with some shackles, this will do 8 attacks. Pretty interesting. So she will attack a lot of times. And when she has 50% attack speed, her normal attack is increased by 10%, but also she deals damage to all enemies in the grid that she's targeting. So basically her normal attack will be an AoE damage in that grid. So if there are multiple enemies in a grid, she will hit all of them. Like if there's a tank tanking 3 targets, then she can hit all of those targets in that area. And in the duration of the battle, she will eventually increase her attack speed even more. And this after I think 160, yeah, after 100 seconds, she will naturally have, unless you upgrade this, she will have 50% increased attack speed. So she will have an insane amount of attack speed. And so a good crime brand with this is that every third auto attack she deals additional damage. That's a really good thing with this. What is this again? When she has 100% attack speed, that basically when she uses her ultimate, she gains 10% more damage and now deals AoE damage, attacking all enemies within range. So she'll do AoE damage in all the squares she can hit. So she will hit everything that she can hit, and AoE in all those. So she is pretty decent AoE damage dealer, I think. And with some good crime brands, she can be pretty amazing. 99. In my opinion, she's not that great. She sacrifices half her health and gains a 20% attack bonus. Nothing special, like 20% more damage, really, that's it. Pretty weak, and all damage is delayed by 5 seconds. I don't find that really good because you're getting tricked, like, oh, you think you're alive, oops, she suddenly died, because, oops, it's delayed, it's not, yeah. And for every health loss, she gains more attack speed, stacking up to like 22.5% at 10% health. Nothing crazy. Like this and this together, she only gets about 35% more damage, or right around it. And if she hits the same enemy multiple times, the damage stacks even more. But still, some enemies, some champions can basically double their damage a lot easier than she can. She has to hit the same enemy 5 times and be on low health and has the ultimate going for 13 seconds. Then she can do some decent damage. Yeah, nothing really special. And if she would die, she instead becomes invincible for 6 seconds, only once per battle. Nothing crazy. I think she's not good. She cannot do AoE damage as well. And that is really what we want for a bunch of these. Like Dolly, decent AoE, good AoE, Nox, insane AoE, Hela, no AoE, and Knight, no AoE. Wendy, she can do some AoE. Her main attack hit 3 times. I don't think this counts with the Prime brand that gives her additional damage per auto attack. I think this 3 times, this is 1 attack in total. So interesting though. Cool animations. Her ultimate ability hits all enemies in a 3v3 around herself 5 times. Pretty huge damage in the skill. And at a pretty decent cost, not that expensive to use. Every 10 seconds, her normal attack deal damage in 1 grid. So basically an AoE damage in a grid, dealing a bunch of damage. And with, I think, with a shackle here, if she gets a kill, then this thing is, the cooldown is reduced. Well, is getting reset. So if she kills an enemy in a square, you can instantly use this ability here again and do more damage. And again, a damage boost for each enemy on the battlefield, stacking 6 times, pretty decent. How about this? Damage dealt to enemies without cores is increased by 20%. Alright, nothing really special. How about this? After moving, she can use her ultimately instantly. Again, the cooldown is reset. Every 35 seconds. That is pretty good, and especially with 3-star here. Cooldown 25%. So she can use her, well, basically what you use the AoE, then you move her, then you use the AoE again. So you can move her away and back, then use it to be on the same square that you was, if you really want to do that. So she's a pretty decent damage dealer. This is a huge nuke on all enemies within a 3v3 around her. Really good. AoE is really what you are looking for. Not that consistent damage. I guess a single target, she's horrible, but multiple enemies, she's pretty good. Oro, I forget what she does, but 1 second here. Right, normal A1. So yeah, when she uses her ultimate, she takes a little bit less damage, and she does massive damage to all enemies in this formation here. And then going to core damage. Core damage is pretty rare. And I think with a shackle or something, maybe it was a crime brand. Yeah, she can basically do 2 core damage if I'm not wrong. Anyways. Also, her activate a battle mark every 6 times she deals damage. An active mark reduces her damage taken by 30% and turns her every 3rd normal attack into a sweep, dealing physical damage to all enemies with a 3x3 in a round in front of her. So if she deals continuous damage to an enemy, she will do a pretty nice sweep in a 3x2 square in front of herself. Pretty nice AoE damage, and if she hits the same enemy multiple times, she can continuously deal a really huge AoE damage with this. Add some core damage, so yeah. For each enemy hit by sweep, she restores some health, so she can be a pretty decent frontline tank. She takes reduced damage, she shields herself. For each enemy hit by sweep, yeah, so in 1 sweep hit, she can restore 12% of her max health. And it can be even better. So yeah, she's a pretty decent frontline tank, can do some good AoE damage. But you probably need to move her a lot, because the formation of this 3x2, I believe it is to the sides of her and 1 in front. But still, really good AoE damage, and AoE damage is really what you're looking for. Yeah, and core damage is pretty decent if you really want a big nuke and a core damage. The Horo, not bad as well. Shay, surprisingly good for a B rank, if I remember right. Yeah, because he has a huge AoE ability that deals a pretty decent bit of damage, and there's 1 core damage to all enemies within this. So a huge air AoE core damage, pretty nice. And puts a tracking on them when tracking. What was that again? Dealing 4% of time and 1 core to all enemies within range. Right. Oh yeah, wait, is this the ultimate that I just read? Yeah, dealing core damage. When he hits an enemy, yeah, this is pretty interesting, that has the tracking that he already hit with AoE, the enemy takes 2.5% in additional damage, can stack 5 times and last 5 seconds. This is very interesting. This is not him, only him doing 2.5% more damage up to about 12.5 on level 1. This increases the damage all of your units deals to that target. So this is really good against bosses. Like if this is at max level, this can increase the damage you do to a boss by 22.5%, I think. Only by hitting a track and hitting them multiple times with this. Really interesting. So core damage and can increase your entire team's damage against a single target. And some AoE with, yeah, so pretty good in my opinion. Chance to get some energy back, yada yada. Some additional attack speed when Happy Hunting hits, yeah. So if you hit multiple enemies, he gets more attack speed. That's pretty nice. Hit a lot of enemies, then hit the boss 5 times and increase all your damage. So yeah, pretty interesting, but a little bit niche, but really good. Not continuous AoE damage, but really good, yeah. Pepper, nothing crazy. Like this was a pretty boring champion, I believe. Increased some attack speed. Some life loss that basically increased her damage to a single target even more. And she gained some additional attack speed. And reduced the target defense by a little bit. So like very single target based. Decent against bosses, reducing their defense by a tiny bit. But yeah. Very much a single target champion damage dealers. Nothing special. So let's talk about everyone here in total. The worst ones is probably going to be the ones that have no kinds of AoE and stuff. That is going to be Hela. I mean, Hela is very good early and self-sustained, but no AoE. Pepper, no AoE really. 99, no AoE. Can do some decent damage probably, but whatever. Shay, surprisingly decent for a B rank. Horo can do some AoE, Wendy some AoE, Dolly some AoE. I have not really used them, but and I probably won't, because Bekasi is a really good AoE damage dealer that you, with the ultimate, you do a lot of AoE. But Nox is just outshining everyone here by a mile, and if you even need more AoE damage than this, then probably some of the other categories can be better, or Soya. So yeah, overall, everyone will get the Nox. Use Nox, and if you need even more of these, then try to get the ones with the good AoE abilities. Alright, that is gonna be all of the Fury champions. I don't really like this category a lot myself. Like, I really like champions that can do consistent AoE damage and then does not rely on anything proccing. They have to get a kill, then they will do some AoE or hitting people multiple times. We also, like Shay and whatever, you have to, and Horo, you have to constantly move them and think about what do they do. So their potential is probably pretty good, but not really worth it in my opinion. So yeah. Anyways, that is gonna be the Fury category. Nox by far the best. Everyone can get her eventually. Pretty fast early in the game, so he's just insane. If you wanna have one other than Nox, I'm not really sure. Probably go with Soya, I guess. That's gonna be it. Bekasi, pretty decent magic damage, but not really that high damage. So yeah, you can think about it. Who do you think suits best with your current sinners? Alright, that's gonna be it. Leave a like, subscribe, and I will do more guides on all of the rest of these categories here. And yeah, that's gonna be it. Goodbye.